So we're hours away from the fourth public hearing by the January 6th committee. This afternoon, we're going to hear more about this infamous phone call.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
That's just unbelievable. That was, of course, Donald Trump talking to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger days before the insurrection, telling him, I need you to steal the election for me. I need you to find, hold on, how many votes are we behind, Gene? We're 11,779 votes behind. So we need 11,780 votes. You know, I've been saying over the past, well, several weeks, but really over the past several months, Donald Trump gets away with absolutely everything. I must say, Georgia, if there's something for him to be worried about, maybe it's not with a Manhattan DA who seems to be scared of his own shadow. Perhaps it's down in Georgia where we've got him on tape saying, I need you, Mr. Secretary of State, to steal the election.
Right, an audio tape, the best friend of the prosecutor, right? You hear the former president committing the crime. You have it all on tape. All you need to do is play the tape. So yeah, Georgia could really be a problem for him. He could be prosecuted there, and as I said, the evidence is overwhelming. It's dispositive. He's guilty.
Raffensperger is one of three Republicans testifying today. The other two are Raffensperger's top deputy, Gabe Sterling, and Arizona House Speaker Rusty Bowers, who says Trump and Rudy Giuliani called him after the election asking for help to overturn President Biden's victory in the state. We'll also hear from Shaye Moss, a former Georgia elections worker. She and her mother were targeted in a debunked voter fraud conspiracy pushed by Giuliani, Trump, and others.
All right. So Mika, this is quite a lineup, an important lineup when you look at these people. Obviously, the Secretary of State and his assistant were two Republicans who came out with guns blazing before anybody else saying, wait a second, these guys are trying to steal the election. We're not going to let them do it. You look at Rusty Bowers. Let's just say what it is in Arizona right now. Arizona's Republican Party has been taken over by the biggest fringe element. They're a bunch of lunatics. They are crazy people. They're weirdos, freaks, conspiracy theorists. And yet you have people like Rusty Bowers. You have other Republicans, people of the Maricopa board that were counting the votes, that time and time again pushed back against the conspiracy theories. I mean, it's really, these people have done such a great service for America. I would say the same thing for Democrats who, of course, did the right thing. Like Al Gore, for instance, conceding the election when he conceded the election, when he could have, kept fighting that for months and months. And then you have Ms. Moss, Jonathan Lemire, who I'm glad I've seen a picture of her now, because I've had way too many people send me emails and send me conspiracy theory posts from Chinese conspiracy websites and Chinese religious cults where they had the conspiracy theory out of Georgia. Oh, there were a box of ballots that they just picked up from underneath the table and they took away. We look at that and we know that's just as stupid as the Jewish space lasers. We know that's just as stupid as all the other conspiracy theories. But you forget there's somebody on the other end of that story who faces death threats because of the lies that all of these conspiracy theorists and crackpots send around.
Yeah, and she and her mother, she's an election worker, her mother a volunteer, and they were doing their civic duty and staffing the election, and they came under because of a video footage taken of them and allegations, spurious allegations that they were trying to rig the election, as you say, pulling out a box of ballots. None of that true, but it's a theory floated by Rudy Giuliani, then the President Trump's lawyer, and then later Trump himself and other Trump allies on Twitter in media appearances where where Ms. Moss and her mother received such scrutiny, they received death threats. And in fact, she has given accounts of a person showing up at her door late at night, banging threateningly, that she would call 911 repeatedly because she was afraid of being followed, that she was afraid that her life was in jeopardy because of these unfounded allegations of election misconduct. There's, again, let's stress, no truth to that whatsoever. But I think for the committee's perspective, she puts a real human face on this to show that the lives changed, altered, and endangered because of these lies.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're watching and you send around conspiracy theories like this that target other people, understand you're putting their life at risk. You should know that by now. You look at Pizzagate, the guy that showed up, ready to shoot the place up because he believed the lies about Hillary Clinton being a pedophile and keeping children hidden in a pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C. Come on. Grow up. And I am curious why Miss Moss and her mother don't sue Rudy Giuliani for lying about them. I mean, the consequences have been pretty devastating for their lives. Let's bring in right now congressional investigations reporter for the Washington Post, Jackie Alemany. Jackie, what are we expecting to see today?
Yeah, I think that this topic of political violence, Joe, is going to be a pretty big topic. We already saw Adam Kinzinger get out there on the Sunday shows and say that the death threats against him and his family have increased. And we know as of this morning that lawmakers are actually looking to ramp up their own security. And we're going to hear that from people like Rusty Bowers and Shaye Moss, how the former president's false claims of election fraud, which, again, the committee is going to drive home that he knowingly was propagating these false claims, despite being told countless times that there was no there, upended their lives, that the Mosses had to go into hiding, essentially, protect their identity. And it really was a pretty terrifying ordeal for them and continues to this day. Rusty Bowers, as well, is going to testify to that experience. And then we're going to hear from Brad Raffensperger and Gabe Sterling, who are going to talk about the very explicit pressure campaign that we saw from the former president that is included in audio. But for the first time, we're going to hear directly from them discussing this audio, how that made them feel, what sort of tensions it created, and the toxic political and partisan environment that it contributed to.